Hi everyone. Happy Woke Wednesday. I will wait for people to join before I go off on Republicans. Hello, hello, hello. Hi friends. Welcome to Woke Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day, happy halfway through this bullshit week day. You know the drill. Drop an emoji in the comment section to tell me how you are feeling this week. You could say how you were feeling about this week, how you are feeling right now. I gotta tell you that what would my emoji be? Wait, can I drop an emoji in here? I don't think I've ever tried. So let's just do this. Yes, that's me. My emoji is just full curse words, full. I don't even know where to begin. So let me just start with what the goal of today was, which was, to talk about the first hearing of the select committee, the 1/6 select committee. Let's start there and then move all the way around what is just our non-functioning government, right? Like, let's just be clear. Our government no longer actually fucking functions. There's breaking news right now that an bipartisan infrastructure deal has come together. No one has seen the fucking language, by the way. So when Republicans are complaining that they haven't seen the language, no one has seen the language. And that is weird, right? So they're set to vote sometime tomorrow or the end of this week. And, I'm watching and they're like, yeah, we're going to vote on reconciliation and all of this shit. And ain't nobody seen what's in the bill. And we already know there are rumors that Kristen Sinema has an objection to the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill, which includes it includes money for the following: roads, bridges, highways. There's a fight right now, which is, obvious, between funding highways and funding public transportation. Republicans, of course, don't want to fund public education because they think that all of their constituents live in rural areas where I guess they ride horses to get to where they're going. And don't need buses or subways like we need in the cities. And so they don't want to fund that. Then you also have Joe Manchin, who doesn't want to fund, anything that has to do with climate change because he's in the pocket of big coal. Then you have Kristen Sinema, which I don't even know what her fucking politics are at this point, other than being a waste of my fucking breath and time to talk about her. So then you have that. So that is infrastructure and where we are. Chuck Schumer seems to think that he has cobbled together some probably toothless piece of infrastructure bill that then they'll be able to pat themselves on the back and say that they have done something. But when I see that there's actually something in there for the American people that isn't going to be stripped out in the amendments, or Republicans are not going to add some type of poison pill, and then if Chuck Schumer doesn't take it, then the whole thing explodes and then they can say that Democrats are socialists. I am so fucking sick to death of it all. And what's funny, friends, is that this is actually my job. I went into politics decades ago, right? I take care of my skin. But a long time ago, I went into politics with the naive belief that, if you wanted to make real change, systemic change, that you wanted to work inside of the system, or you wanted to work with organizations that were pushing our government to be more progressive, to be more inclusive, to be more equitable. And at the end of the day, everything that's been transpiring over the past 5 years has made me want to just quit. Right? Like, I feel right now, before I roll into my sentiments about the 1/6 insurrection, I feel right now so connected to Naomi Osaka and Simone Biles, who are just like, you know what? My mental health is being tested. And I care too much and love myself too goddamn much to allow these motherfuckers to bring me down. And that is how I'm feeling about Congress. That is how I'm feeling about somewhat of a feckless administration who came into office on one wave and then is kowtowing to a whole different set of people that didn't fucking vote for them in the first goddamn place. Nancy Pelosi this week talking about the fact that she doesn't think that canceling student debt is a good idea. Who the fuck, Nancy Pelosi, do you think helped to get Joe Biden into office and put the gavel back in your hand? It was young people who you all promised something, and now you want to do a pivot on that and say, we don't know where we should get the money from. I have an idea of where you could get the money from. Maybe take it away from the ballooned fucking budgets of the Pentagon. Maybe take that. Maybe look at that. Maybe look at all the fucking millions, tens of millions of dollars that you funnel into police departments to then over police and criminalize black and brown people who also help to put the gavel back in your hand. Maybe take the money away from them. Stop telling me that you don't have the fucking money when you don't even tax the right fucking people, and then want to tell us that trickle down is still going to be happening, but these motherfuckers are using their money to go into space on a dick measuring competition. So again, miss me with your bullshit. And I'm tired. I'm tired of being told to vote for Democrats. I'm tired of being told that I have no other choice because it's either them or the fucking Klan, and either one of them, both of them are fucking me one way. One puts on the condom and the other one just fucks me raw. So here's the thing, that I am fucking done with telling people to invest in politicians who don't give a fuck about you. Okay? Because this is not an either or proposition here. Because at some point in our political life, and I mean as our political life, as citizens of this country, at some point in time, we have to just say what Simone Biles just said, what Naomi Osaka just said, and say fucking no. How about this? How about we're fucking done? Okay? And we are going to start running for office our good goddamn selves on a third party agenda that is actually about the people, because we're not too, in the pocket of everyone else that is trying to either readily destroy America or do it on a slow roll behind the scenes type of hot shit. I'm finished. Right? I'm finished with holding on to some grain of hope that we are going to be better than we are. Because like Officer Dunn said yesterday, holding back tears in his eyes when he is recounting, right? Being called a nigger with a fucking uniform on, a fucking uniform that says that he should protect and serve these motherfuckers that are gaslighting the shit out of the rest of us, and saying, I guess this is who America has always been. I guess that this is who America is. It is who America fucking is, right? America is a fucking toss-up. Right? Either you are like the four men that stood their ground, got the shit beat out of them, were verbally and physically abused, right? In order to defend democracy and defend the lives of Republicans right now who were too busy yesterday to turn on a fucking TV. They were too busy to pull up their phone. They were too busy to go on social media to see what the Blue Lives, right? The Blue Lives folks is that they want to wave their flags and they want to scream about Blue Lives. But when Blue Lives are on the line, they're too busy to be fucking invested. Fuck you, Kevin McCarthy. Fuck you, Mitch McConnell. Fuck you, Matt Gaetz. Fuck you, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Fuck you, Laura Boebert, Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham. All of you are pieces of fucking shit. But do you know who's on the top of my shit list today? Who is on the top of my list? And I normally never talk about this bitch, but let me tell you something. I don't understand why Fox News is still on the air. I don't understand why they are not considered a national security threat and shut the fuck down. I don't understand why they are not seen as an extension of the Ku Klux Klan, right? So then they would be in violation of the Civil Rights Act. I do not understand why we cannot use legal maneuvering to get them shut the fuck down, right? Or to continue to do what Color of Change has done, which is run behind the scenes campaigns to go after every single one of their fucking sponsors. So listen to what this bitch did yesterday. She had the fucking audacity to attack those 4 police officers and give them an award for their fucking performance. Do you know what you are performing? You are performing, right, like a human when we know that you are not, right? You are a moralist, right? Piece of fucking trash. The audacity of this woman who has never done a goddamn thing, not for anyone. She is nobody's public servant, right? She is nobody's soldier. She hasn't done anything, right? Except what? Get on air and talk about the fact that Santa Claus is white, or tell people that she doesn't understand why you can't use blackface because it was never a thing when she was growing up, so I guess it means nothing to the rest of us, right? Laura, you are everything that is wrong with white women. You literally embody everything that is fucking wrong and disgusting with white women. You are the fucking mistress of Massa's house. That's who the fuck you are. Towing the fucking line and doing whatever it is that you have to shuck and jive to do to continue to have your fucking mouthpiece. You are worthless, okay, as a fucking human being. And I never attack people's character and go down, except for these people, because they are moralists, right? They swear an oath, right? These Republicans that she wants to uphold. She wants to uphold police officers so long as they are beating the shit out of black and brown people, right? That's when they want to talk about Blue Lives Matter. They want to talk about that when they are going after black and brown people and beating them senseless and telling them that they can't vote. That's when they want to do that. But if they are standing up for democracy, then somehow they deserve to be mocked. If they are experiencing trauma, right, somehow they deserve to be mocked. Who the fuck is Laura Ingraham? What the fuck have you done? You stupid, stupid, stupid fucking woman. I am so tired of these people, and I feel like the only way to get rid of them is to call the FCC like you are calling your best friend on a regular fucking basis and report them. Or for us to have a class actions lawsuit against these fucking people. 614,000 Americans are dead, and no one is being held responsible for it. Not Laura Ingraham, not Sean Hannity, not Tucker Carlson, none of them. And ask me why. They have millions upon millions of stupid fucking Americans that believe every word that is coming out of their mouth. But when they're hauled into court, we're supposed to be told that they're just entertainers, right? She's a fucking clown. You're absolutely right. She's a fucking entertainer. And what the FCC should have as a description before every single one of these shows is that it is for entertainment purposes only. That's what it should read, right? Because they are a threat. They have cost people their lives. And the idea that you would think that after these brave men, right? And you know how I feel about the police. If you follow me, if you listen to Woke AF regularly, you know exactly how I feel about the police, right? But I will say that those men yesterday who testified, they are the right kinds of police. They are the people that went into the job because they wanted to represent everyone. And thank you to Officer Daniel Hodges, who was the one who called them white terrorists and said that the insurrection was a white supremacist insurrection. Why is that important? Because language fucking matters. And I needed the white man to come out and say that, yeah, they saw my skin and they said, come on, brother, are you on our side or are you with them? So that we could understand the psychology behind the people that stormed the Capitol building. No, they weren't some fucking group of lost tourists, according to Andrew Clyde, who we saw on video and in pictures fearing for his fucking life. And then when asked, right, when pressured yesterday by Representative Jamie Raskin wants to say, I stand by the fact that they were tourists. Shut the fuck up, you lying piece of shit, right? I am sick to death of every single Republican, sick to death. And apparently the only two, right, that are worth the spit it takes to cuss the rest of them, but I don't like their policies and I don't like their ideology either. But the fact is that yes, they are speaking the truth. Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney, God bless them right now. But as Officer Dunn said, why is it so fucking hard to tell the truth? Why are they being applauded or lauded for doing that? Because that's the fucking reality that we are living in right now. That if you are operating in actual reality or you are on Trump's earth too, right? You are worthy of persecution. Let me tell you something. Officer Fanone went on Don Lemon's show, I was told. And he played voicemail that was left for him while he was testifying by some Trump supporter that threatened to kill him, that was calling him all types of hot, nasty shit. Just like those folks wanted to call Officer Dunn a nigger, right? Let me tell you something. I wish one of them would have stepped to him on their fucking own. Because without a white supremacist fucking mob behind you, you wouldn't talk not near a hot bit of shit, okay, to Officer Dunn, all right? Look at that man, and you tell me which one of those white fucking motherfuckers would have said shit to him on a fucking street. They're so hot when they're in a mob, but on their own, can't say shit. These people, right, should never be given the benefit of the doubt. These people, don't ever say to me, oh, not all people that support Donald Trump aren't racist. Not all these people. Let me tell you something. If ever there was a blanket statement to be made, it is about everybody that has supported Donald Trump. You are racist. You are misogynist. You are homophobes. You are transphobes. You are Islamophobes. You are anti-Semitic, right? You are everything that is bad and dark and horrible about America. That is what they are proud to embody. When Hillary Clinton said that they were deplorable, she did not go far enough. And you know what? Because we don't believe the words that come out of women's mouth, it fell on non-listening ears, right? Everybody looked the other way. Oh, this is entertainment. Oh, this is a good time. Let me ask you having fun yet? You having a good time now? Because it is thanks to the fact that we ignored the smartest woman to ever seek to run for the presidency, the most qualified human being ever to run for the presidency. It is because we ignored her red alert and her sirens that we are here right now. Don't get me twisted. Hillary Clinton is nobody's perfection, but she sure as hell is nobody's fucking tyrant. She sure as hell is nobody's fucking dummy, nobody's fucking parrot or stooge. Do you know that right now, the state of Arizona is running up a tally so far as $7 million of taxpayers' money looking at routers, right, for fraud with the election because Donald Trump doesn't know how the fuck technology works, doesn't know how the internet works? This is what the fuck they are doing. Then you have Kevin McCarthy today talking to Nancy Pelosi about reinstituting masks on the House floor and him saying, this is just, she doesn't know science. I'm sorry. Did he have an MD behind his name? Did Kevin McCarthy go to somebody's medical school? Right? No, he did not. So why the fuck would we be listening to you? Do these people not understand that at a time when a virus, a global pandemic has been on the planet for 17 months, that maybe we want to be a little bit intellectually nimble, a little bit emotionally nimble, because we are literally flying this fucking COVID plane as we are building it. And so when new information comes out, we need to be able to adapt to it. Right? Because that's what it means to be, smart. It means that you build on the information that you are provided. You don't get fucking stuck in it. Okay? You do not get stuck in it. But this is who Republicans have always been. They have always been stuck or wanting to wind the clock backwards. Don't get it twisted. Am I annoyed by the CDC? Absolutely. Because I don't think that they should have ever told anyone to take their fucking mask off. Because trying to put that genie back in the bottle was going to be really fucking hard with this ignorant fucking country. And yes, I say ignorant, and people can tell me to go someplace else, but unfortunately, no one else will have me, right? This is the country that my ancestors have blood in, and so this is where the fuck I'm gonna stay. But when you are facing a global health pandemic and countries around the world are clamoring for shots, are literally dying in the streets because there is not enough vaccine to give out to the people who actually want them, and we can't convince or bribe fucking half the population to get a vaccine because they listen to Laura fucking Ingraham and Tucker Carlson, who were vaccinated months ago? Dear fucking God. Like, my God. But this is where we are. Do you know what else I heard today? And I'd like to die. Like, I am so fucking over it. Like, every week I feel worse than I did the week before. And somehow I had it up in my head that after the election, after inauguration, that things were going to start to get better. I don't know what fantasy fucking island I was living on, but that was the hope that I was clinging to get me to election day and to get me through. And then what were we met with? An insurrection. And now Republicans are trying to sell us on some shit like it didn't fucking happen. You're too busy to watch video of police officers being beat with Donald Trump flags. You have that fucking, oh my God, these people, you know, God bless the fucking hecklers at the Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz rapist, pedophile, anti-Semite fucking conference that they wanted to have yesterday that was ended as soon as it was fucking started because a man with a whistle and a mask on, God bless him for blowing his whistle but also protecting the rest of us from his droplets, interrupted every single word that they were saying. And when met with, the Gaetz team said, yeah, so I'm going to keep going. Kept blowing it. And I was just like, yes. Let us all pick up our whistles. Let us all make it so uncomfortable for these people to exist. You see, that's where I want to go. That's where the fuck I am headed. I want them to be heckled out of restaurants. I want them to not be able to leave their homes. I want them to be ashamed to walk through airports. I want them to be dragged, right? Like, on Twitter, everywhere. I don't want them to be able to show their face without us all tearing it apart. You shouldn't be able to exist in peace because you know who wasn't able to exist in peace? Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, after she testified against that sexual predator that is sitting on the fucking Supreme Court. She had to move, right? I want fucking Mitch McConnell to have to move. I want Kevin McCarthy to have to leave. I want them to have to get security round the clock and be scared to leave their fucking houses because they don't know what's coming around the corner. Because that's how the fuck they're making the rest of us feel. And I want them to feel that way too. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. I really don't. They have let loose some of the most dangerous people in this country. As Officer Dunn said yesterday, a hitman sent them to the Capitol building. A hitman sent them, right? And so when you are ordered, right, to do a hit and you get caught, it is both the shooter and the person who fucking sent you that should be going to fucking jail. That is the fucking legal chain that we should be going after right now. So don't talk to me about, oh, you picked up 500 motherfuckers out of 9,000 and somehow I'm supposed to feel safe, right? And you give one of them a fucking 8-month sentence because all he did was hold a flag. Did you all watch the videos of what they did with those flags? You don't need to be holding a gun in order to commit some type of act of violence, okay? How fucking stupid are you? I am done with these people, this country, this attitude of toxicity and the destruction that we are living in. If you do not recognize right now that our democracy is fucked, if you do not understand, right, that this little political theater that is being put on right now in terms of bipartisanship, like, oh, look, I can work with the people that tried to have us killed. What? In what place does that make sense to you? Oh, but we don't investigate our opponents. You should if they tried to have you killed. You should if they provided a map and guidance as to where your office was and then sat in a room and waited to hear that Nancy Pelosi or Mike Pence were executed. Do you know that it's through the grace of God that we only witnessed one funeral, and that was of Officer Brian Sicknick, but Fox News couldn't be bothered to cover that funeral either. They couldn't be bothered to offer a moment of silence for that man that lost his life at the hands of their fucking white supremacist domestic terrorist insurrectionist motherfuckers. Could they? No, they could not. So the next time that they want to take to some type of motherfucking soapbox and talk about law and order, I want split screens on every fucking news station to remind us exactly what kind of law and disorder they don't give a fuck about. Do you know what's very interesting? If you listen to Woke AF tomorrow, where I have my regular conversation with MSNBC legal analyst Glenn Kirshner and the host of Justice Matters on YouTube, if you listen to this conversation, Glenn says to me, you know what's interesting is that the 4 officers that were present yesterday, right, they represent the DC Metropolitan Police Department and the Capitol Police, which are under, right, the power of Congress and the mayor. Where were all of the military and law enforcement that were authorized by the executive branch? Where the fuck were they? Because the executive branch controls every other law enforcement around the country, including the fucking Pentagon, and ain't one of them were called on that day. As a matter of fact, they were told to stand down. So my hope is that in the second hearing that we get to hear is that I want every single leader from those law enforcement offices that are controlled by the executive branch to testify under oath as to why they didn't show up to work on 1/6 or why they were told to stay the fuck home. Because let me tell you who was deployed during BLM. During the BLM summer of 2020 uprisings, every single one of those institutions under the executive branch law enforcement were called into action in Oregon, in New York, right? In Washington, D.C. So miss me with the fucking bullshit, right? Like, oh, everybody was caught off guard. No, you were not. This was, folks, an organized attack and coup on our government that happened, that was aided and abetted by Republican members of Congress in both the House and the Senate and the President of the United States. And we are 6 months removed from that fucking day, and yet nobody is in handcuffs, right? We just had our first hearing, and it is 7 months? We're damn near in August next week? Can you imagine if we had taken 7 to 8 months after 9/11 to hold a committee hearing? So we will put the full weight and we will stop time and space, right, to find foreign, right, assassins on our democracy. But when they are homegrown, we're like, oh, we got all the fucking time in the world. Let's wait for them to reorganize, to gather strength, and then strike again. Let's do that. This country is so incredibly fucked, right? Like, I need every single one of you to share this video with all of your followers, every single one, because I need everyone to wake the fuck up, okay? First of all, Delta variant, not going away, going to mutate on top of itself by winter. I have spoken to multiple doctors who have said that. And do you know what would stop it? Oh, I don't know. People getting fucking vaccinated and or wearing a mask or doing both. You know, that's what would stop it. What would stop all of these mutations from happening? If we didn't have so much virus in the air. What would stop there from being so much virus in the air? If people were to get fucking vaccinated. And if you weren't vaccinated, if you would wear a goddamn mask, right? I saw a tweet earlier today and I damn near lost it. When somebody said, you have the audacity, these people, these fucking couch potatoes have the audacity to talk about Simone Biles' strength and not, you know, pulling out of the individuals and all around because, you know, black people are only here to tap dance and perform for white motherfuckers, right? Had the audacity to do that, talking about, oh, she needs to have the strength and blah, 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 and you don't have the strength to wear a fucking mask in Walgreens? Sit down. Sit down. Okay? Sit down and shut up. Okay? Piers Morgan and the rest of you feckless motherfuckers on television, shut up. Shut the fuck up. You have no idea what it is like to perform at the top of your game and do so while being a woman, while being black. Do you have any idea what Simone Biles has been under the pressure of? Do you have any idea what it must be like to be the face of sexual assault, have to train in the same gym where you were assaulted, and then go out there, put on a leotard, and act as if everything is okay and smile for the fucking cameras? Do you have any idea? No, you do not. So you do not have the right to speak about her strength or speak about what she should or should not be doing. Because frankly, the fact that she doesn't live underneath a bed somewhere pulling together her soul is amazing in and of itself and should be fucking celebrated. Folks, I gotta tell you, I am this close every goddamn week to packing this all up and fucking being done, right? Like, done talking about politics, done watching politics, done existing in this space, right? Instead of moving into some other type of dream space where I can imagine a better world than the one that we are living in. Because I'm telling you, fighting for this one is seemingly becoming not worth it on a regular basis. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it is just becoming too goddamn much. Every day, there is more bad news. Every day, every moment of every day. And I'm just wondering when the fuck it's going to stop, right? Like, when is this going to be done, right? We're still, it is 2021 and MLK is being removed from history books? Martin Luther King and the I Have a Dream speech is now removed from Texas, from Texas public schools. Any mention, as well as Susan B. Anthony, who was a racist, but as well as, you know, Cesar Chavez and other Sojourner Truth. It's 2021. I like, where do you go from here? When we can't have critical conversations about this country's founding, right? And then you're trying to tell me, not only are you trying to gaslight me about the past, but you're also trying to pretend that 1/6 didn't happen, the coronavirus doesn't exist, and Donald Trump is the best president of the world. I'm like, get me out of this episode of the X-Files and put me someplace else. It's like X-Files meets Black Mirror meets like, I need to get out of here. That is how I feel on a regular basis. So if you feel like me, take a fucking break. Like, in all honesty, in all seriousness, take a fucking break, right? If that break looks like a walk, if it looks like a bath, if it looks like a cocktail, if it looks like a blunt, I don't care. If it looks like watering all your plants, take a fucking break. Because this shit is designed to kill us. That's what I know, right? It is designed to either make me feel crazy, right? Or exhaust me to the point of where I just want to give up. And so if we do not intentionally, daily take breaks, we are going to have a breakdown. That is it for me today, folks, on this Woke Wednesday. If you want to support Black, independent, queer voices like mine, head over to patreon.com/wokeaf. $5 a month gets you 5 hours each and every week of me. If you know, folks, you should. Because I tell you, this is why. Because mainstream media ain't giving you shit. Because they're all paid for by the same fucking motherfuckers, right? They really are. They're bought and paid by the same people. You wonder why you hear about some stories but don't hear about others? That's why. Because somebody sitting up in a C-suite, usually a white man, is like, but I have investments in that place, so let's not talk about it. So support independent media, not just for me, but you should. Patreon.com/wokeaf. But because you need to diversify your information. You cannot trust just one source. You need to know it all. Also, a story, I will just say this very, very quick. A story that everyone should be paying attention to that is not getting the attention that it should is this story. 5,000 children in Texas, in those detention centers, right, were abused, beaten, and COVID was running rampant. 2 whistleblowers tried to bring that information forward. and they were dismissed from their positions, and they were told to either they would be dismissed or to give a rosy disposition. How many children, right, have been sexually abused, have been beaten? We just discovered mass graves from residential schools of this country's history and Canada of stealing Native American children from their homes and putting them in these schools to beat them into assimilation, into whiteness. So what the fuck do you think was happening on Trump's watch as we were ripping children away from breastfeeding, their breastfeeding mothers, and putting them in detention centers during the midst of a pandemic? What do you think has happened to those kids? 5,000 of them. And guess what? The people that got the contract to oversee those children had no expertise in childcare, in child psychology, in therapy whatsoever, but they got a $1 billion contract. And I wonder who those contractors were. I wonder who they're friends with. These are the stories that I cover on Woke AF. So you want that type of news? You want hot, real, authentic shit that does not come with sugar? Then sign up at patreon.com/wokeaf. Share the video, folks. Love you, appreciate you. As always, power to the people, and to all the people power. Get woke and stay woke as fuck.